Well, if you just bought a Gold Monster 1000 and you're watching this video to learn about it, I got to tell you, congratulations, you made a great decision. This thing is worth its weight in gold, literally. This thing has found me so many nuggets, and it's just money. I mean, it works perfect for everything that I need and what I do, the type of detecting I do, and I think it's going to be good for you too. So let's watch this video, hang out for a second, pay attention, and there's not a lot to learn, but there are some little details, some little tips and tricks along the way, and then more importantly, you'll get to hear it and see it in action. All right, it's a little windy out here. I'm going to do a video on the Gold Monster 1000 today. So I have this machine out here, and we're going to hunt around on this gold patch where I've got gold before. We're going to probably find a couple pieces today in the iron. And I'm going to talk about my settings and what I'm listening to with this thing. We'll listen to some signals and see what the screen shows us, the little dig, no dig symbols, and my settings. And I got to tell you, this machine is my favorite gold detector on the planet in the VLF circuitry. So the PI machines are a whole different thing. But as far as VLF goes, you know, you got the gold bugs and all the other gold machines out there. This thing, just because of productivity, if nothing else, is going to put more gold in your pocket on any given day than any other machine, just because of how simple it is and how effective it is. It's not the deepest machine out there, but again, that doesn't matter when you're putting more pieces of gold in your pocket and digging less trash. So let's take a look at the settings, and we'll get after a couple targets and see if we can get some yellow metal. And I'll check back with you guys here in a minute. All right, let's go ahead and turn the machine on. Very simple controls here. You have the on-off button right here. And then you have up and down for sensitivity. And then you have deep and shallow. And then you have volume. I run the volume all the way up, and I always use headphones because when it comes to gold, the tones are everything. So I'm really listening for any little squeaks, and I'd have to have my headphones to be able to hear what I want to hear and what I need to hear. I don't want to miss targets because I'm not using headphones. So anyway, you can see the controls on here. You have sensitivity, which goes all the way down to here, and it goes all the way up to here before it turns into auto 1 and auto 2. So I run it at the last setting I can before I get to auto. And the reason I run it there is because my ground, even though the soil out here is kind of crazy, but I'm always making sure that the machine is ground balanced, always moving the machine, and I never have a problem with it being too sensitive. In fact, I can run it right there with no problem whatsoever. I have it on deep and the volume all the way up, and that's really it. So when you first turn the machine on, it's got a circuit in there that wants to hear the ground. So you got to find some clean ground, nice clean ground like right here, and just do a little figure eight or a little circle here for about a minute, 30 seconds or so, until it quiets down. Right now it's really quiet. If you stop for a minute and you kind of hang out or you lift it up, it's reprocessing the air, and it's just kind of, if you stop on a target, it'll reprocess ground balance on the target itself, a nail or whatever. So before you start back up again, just kind of go into some ground after you dig a signal and just kind of make sure it's still quiet and sorted, and then head out. If you want, you can hold this middle button in for 4 seconds and it'll reset the ground balance for you. All right, and that's it. That's the settings. And we're going to look at this graph up here. That's gold, that's iron. If it's hanging over here and it's bang, 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 I'm always going to dig it. Could be a coin, could be anything conductive, because that's conductivity. If it's over here, bang, 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 and it's holding over here and it paints this whole section, it's going to be iron. So if it's bouncing around, that's a whole different story. You're going to have to dig some of those until you know what's gold and what's not. But some of the clues are in just the sounds, the tones on this thing. So as you're swinging it, there'll be a lot of weird whoa, woo, whoa, and bow, bow, weird stuff like that. John Wayne gunshot in the canyon, bow, kind of sounds. That's not what gold sounds like. On here, gold is just a real quick, short, very abrupt sound. It's super sharp sound. So if you get a sound that sounds like that and it's bouncing back and forth, you better dig that, because oftentimes it'll still be gold. But most of the targets that I dig out here hang right. And sometimes it'll bounce. I'll scrape a little dirt off the top, check it again, and then it hangs right for sure. So anyway, let's go ahead and try to get this in action, and we'll get a couple signals and see what it looks like. All right. All right, I'm not going to run the headphones just for a minute so I can have you guys listen as we go. First thing I want to talk about is just the swing speed on this thing. You don't want to swing it too fast, so this is what the swing speed has to look like with this machine. Anything more than that, you are going to miss targets guaranteed. And what you're listening for is just a little quick, abrupt sound. If you hear anything that's just a little quick, abrupt sound, go back, swing it over a couple times, reinvestigate, and see if you can get it to turn into a target. See these little whines and cries? It's not what I'm looking for. And I don't mind the little whines and cries because I'm listening for a certain tone. If you don't want to hear the whines and cries at all, you can bring this down a little bit, sensitivity over here, and it won't whine and cry so much. I don't mind that. So, because I'm listening for a certain kind of tone. Those little whines and cries aren't going to fool me or distract me. So swing speed, see the swing speed? That's it, right there. And you know, a lot of users on this machine prefer the little small coil, the round coil. Out here, I need coverage and depth. So I go with the bigger coil. It's more appropriate for the kind of detecting that I'm doing. So I'm not in rocks or creeks or creek banks or sand, gravel, tailings. I'm in grass and dirt. So you can see the quartz everywhere out here. Nice and slow, big coil. A little bit of whining, a little bit of crying. We're okay. See, none of these sounds have interested me yet. Whoa, what was that? That's deep. You can tell by the delay in the sound and how quiet it is, but it's hanging left. So, not interested in it showing that it's iron. A little quick, you hear that? Go back and recheck it. Can't get it to do it again, so let's keep moving. All right, here's a good example of a target you do want to dig that's bouncing around a little bit. Let's take a look. The reason we're going to dig it is because of the tone. Bop, 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 bop. Hanging hard left now. Let's go ahead and pop it out and see if it changes, if the tone changes at all. Sometimes that happens. Get some of the dirt off the top of it. Recheck it and see if it changes. Look at that. You see that change? Now it's hanging right, so this is why you have to take a chance on these. It's all about the tone more than it is the graph on the top. So this happens more often than not, that you hear a good tone and then scrape the top off and it changes into something that just hangs hard right, and it's gold. So let's see if we can get lucky and do that again. But I got nothing on the pinpointer. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got something at the very bottom of the hole down there, so a little bit deeper. That's good. Let's see if there actually is something down here. Deep is good. I gotta recheck it with the machine. This is getting brutal. I have to edit the crap out of this because it shouldn't take this long to recover a piece of gold. Swing over it again. So it's out. It's over here. Somewhere. Okay, it's in my scoop. Let's see if you see anything in there. Thought I heard like a bullet, but maybe not. You guys see anything in there? I'm gonna have to set the camera down. I can't do this one-handed, guys. Check back in a minute. Okay, we got it. And I think it is a piece of gold. See a little, oh yeah, a little piece of gold right here. Let me get the dirt out of here and you can see it better in here. There we go. So that little guy was banging left and right, and we stayed with it. Scraped the top off. It went hard right, stayed hard right. And it gave me a hard time coming out, but gold. So there's a good example of the wobble. Let's keep going. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cover that hole up, but go back, rewind the video just for a second and listen to that again. And just try to listen to the tone. Yeah, it was bouncing back and forth on the meter here, but it was all about that tone. So go back and listen to that tone, the sharpness of it, the you know, that real sharp attack. That's the reason why I took a chance on that bouncer. All right, this next signal that I just found is no doubter. You're gonna dig this one every time. Let's take a look. It's big. It's kind of shallow. It's just like right here somewhere. It's so big and so shallow that I'm gonna do something that most gold detectors don't do. I'm gonna start with my pinpointer. There it is. When you see big and shallow, you start thinking bullet. So I'm already thinking bullet, but you never know. Let's dig it up. See if today is the day. I'll tell you what, you see that little dirt fall out of that scoop just now? Invariably, every time you do that, the nugget will find it, jump out of the thing whenever it can. You give it a chance, and the nugget will jump out. Matter of fact, look at that. Isn't that funny? I looked down there, and the dang thing jumped right out of the scoop, and I'm not joking. It does that so often. That's why I decided to look down there. So that's what it was. Nice little chunky piece of gold. It was not very deep, and as soon as that thing fell out, that nugget fell out, and I would have been over here trying to find it. So always check to see if the nugget's trying to jump out of the scoop, because it does it. So, all right, let's listen to it real quick and just make sure you can hear what it sounds like. That was it. Like I said, I'd say no doubter. You're going to dig that every time. So those are easy ones. All right, let's talk about something that's kind of crappy, but as you're swinging this machine, every once in a while, you come across a cow patty. And this will always hit on cow patties, just so you know. Just something about them. The more fresh they are, the more they sound off. So just something to keep in mind. There's not a piece of gold down there. It's just a cow patty. For some reason, the mineralization in it causes the machine to sound off. So. This one's bouncing around a little bit, and it's not super sharp. That would be a bit of a risk digging that one. But hey, we're here, so let's go ahead and pop the top off and recheck it. See if it can turn into a target. All right, let's see if it gets better. See it jumping to the right now? Yeah, I'm just not sure on this one. It's getting a little more sharp though, so I'm just going to continue recovering it. It's sounding better and better as we get deeper, so let's go ahead and pop some of that out. See if I can get some of that stuff up here. All right, recheck it. So now it's kind of, that's still bouncing around a lot. I don't know, we're gonna have to just get it out and see what it is. It's not really hanging either side. It hasn't made its mind up yet. Sometimes shotgun pellets can do this. They don't go left and they don't go right. They just bounce. So could just be a shot. So could just be a shotgun pellet out in there. All right, time to go set the camera down and go two-handed here. I'll be right back. Well, this time it was a square nail. A little bit of a nail here. Actually, not even, yeah, it is square. So anyway, just a little piece of square nail. A little gopher hole. I had to recover it from way down there in the bottom of that hole. It rolled in there. We'll go ahead and recheck the hole, bury it up, and move on. All right, here's a bunch of crazy tones for you to listen to. Pew, 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 pew. That's that one, kind of like the John Wayne sound I said. Hanging left. We're in some iron. Shallow little pieces of nails probably, or iron. We're right on the edge of an old mining camp. So this is all iron from their camp. So you just got to kind of work through this iron. We're in a gold patch, so they were camped right on the gold. So we're just going to work through this iron nice and slow. See if we can get something to hang right. With that nice, sharp, abrupt tone. Some of you probably would have dug that signal. And that's good. I mean, you have to dig those when you first get this machine just to learn, so you're going to be digging that one. I'm cherry picking right now, so I wanted to do a couple for the video, but right now I'm just kind of cherry picking. It's kind of a short day today. Just got out for a couple hours to make this video for you guys, so that's why I'm in cherry pick mode. So I'm out of the iron now, right? You don't hear the nails anymore. Kind of head back over that way. When you're in the iron like that, the advantage of this machine is that you can swing in the iron and hear gold in and amongst the iron. Because of your graph on the top that shows you if it's, you know, iron, left side ferrous, or conductive, right side. Now the other machines that are out here, the machines that are the $8,500 machines or the $6,000 machines, they cannot do this. So they have to dig everything. They would come over here and start digging all these nails and be just done with this area and avoid it at all costs. And it could be right in the middle of a gold patch. They're just not going to want to sit there and dig horseshoe nails and boot tacks, and you know, they're not just going to move on. So here's a conductive hiding in amongst all the iron right here. Just kind of hiding right here. Shallow, big. And you know, oftentimes we'll be in a camp like this and we'll get a conductive signal, and it's a coin or a relic, a brass, something brass. You just never know out here. I mean, we are in the California gold country, so the miners were all out here in the 1850s, everywhere out here. So they could have dropped something, and every once in a while we'll find it. I'll go ahead and put in a clip right after this showing you the last time I was out here with this machine. I found a gold locket out here, a beautiful little gold locket, a lady's locket with a picture inside of it and everything. early. So like I say, 1850s, 40s. Found it out here just swinging with this. Right after we cover this target, we'll jump over to that clip and you can watch that. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Put this in here, shake it a little bit. If it's a nugget or a bullet, it'll fall off pretty quick because of the heaviness. So it should be out. Let's see. Yep. I'll just quickly look for gold in there or a bullet before I give up on holding the camera for you guys. Darn it. Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay, you're gonna shut the camera off for a minute. Be right back. It was a fired 22 round. See it down here? That's what it was. It's hiding in all the iron here. All right, we'll keep checking in here, but it could have been a nugget, could have been a relic, could have been a coin. Let's keep swinging through all this iron, see what else we can pop out. All right, the first two pieces were right here, a couple inches down. And then I went up here and dug, and way down around 8 inches down in that hole was the other piece, the other cover. So I found the actual locket itself and one cover here, and then I found this second cover up here about 8 inches down, just right underneath this section right here. So it's shocking at how deep that other piece was. I thought it was another piece of gold or something down there. But anyway, they were about a foot and a half apart. See, I'm lucky that I know I'm in a gold bearing patch. So that gives me a little bit different approach where I'll take more chances because I know that there's so much gold in here and there's absolutely gold here that I'm willing to take those chances. Where if you're trying to find a patch for the first time, you might be a lot more picky about what you dig. Or the opposite, if you're finding so much and you're doing so good, then you might get to the point where you're just kind of cherry picking and only looking for those hard right inflections and no chance, and there's no sense in taking a chance on anything because you know you're doing good. The day I first bought this machine, the very first time I had it, I found 11 pieces of gold that evening with it. In about, I don't know, 3 hours before sundown and a couple hours into the dark, so maybe a 5-hour trip. I had 11 pieces with this machine. The next couple times I took it out, I had over 7 or 8 pieces, both of those times too. So, very capable machine. Oh, did you hear that little bip? Hear that? Just a quick bop. It just caught my attention. Hear how sharp and quick that is? Let's recover that. That sounds good. It's got that sound. I'm telling you, it's all about tones on this thing. Once you get to know the tones, you don't even really need to look at the meter, honestly, but it is nice to have. That's going to be gold. That is going to be gold. It's exciting. Let's see what we got. It's got that tone, that sound. It's got everything going for it, so high confidence. Lots of confidence that this will be gold, just based on the tone. And all right, let's see. Boy, if I can't get this quick and get lucky right here, I have to shut the camera off. Let me shut the camera off, guys. Sorry. I just can't recover it with one hand. We'll be right back. Well, so much for my high confidence. There's the culprit. All right, we'll cover the hole back up and recheck it, but that's what you get for thinking you're able to call your shots. You get just kind of hip checked. All right. You know, a lot of people get pretty frustrated with this machine. It's too squawky, too noisy. They can't find anything with it. I mean, I have thousands of hours on it, and I'm just hardwired to it. I know the machine inside and out. I know everything it's telling me. And that's because I just have so many thousands of hours on it. And I just completely understand it. And I can work a little bit quicker than what you saw earlier and just go target to target to target. So that's what I'm kind of doing now as we're getting later in the evening. I only got about 2 hours of light left. And just kind of hit this over here. Sounds pretty good. Let's check that out. But like I said, the Gold Monster 1000 it could be my favorite metal detector on the planet. It really could. The problem is I'm not a gold guy. So as many hours as I have on it, I'd much rather prefer to go out and look for relics than I would gold. And I have crazy amounts of hours on my relic machines because 9 out of 10 times I'm walking out the door looking for relics. But when I go for gold, this is what I take right here. And it's been fantastic for me. It's just absolutely incredible. I love it. You will too, trust me. Especially after watching this video. Let's see if it's out. It's out. It's over here. And gold is very heavy, as you know. And when you're moving it around, it wants to lay right on the bottom of whatever you're doing. It doesn't just come right off the top like this. It's usually down a little bit deeper. You got to kind of work for it sometimes. Boy, that sure has that gold sound, the tone. Like I said, the tones are everything on this machine, and that's the tone you want right there. No matter if it's a bullet or not, that's the tone you want. So I don't see it just quickly glancing in here. And I'm trying to do this one-handed. I'll have to come back in, guys. Shut the camera off just for a second. We'll come back when we get it. It has a little small piece of melted lead or shrapnel from a bullet. So like I said, if you're digging lead, you're going to be getting gold. Well, I had a signal here that was kind of bouncing around a little bit. Real choppy. Pulled the top off and listen to it now. Now it sounds good. So let's get down and get after it. It's got that sound, man. Woo! It has that perfect sound. Gold sound. Let's see if we see it right here. No, not yet. Try the pinpointer first. I don't think it's big, but see if the pinpointer can hear it. Nope. Nothing on the pinpointer. I would think it's in this stuff right here. Somewhere in here. Find a lot of specimens out here too, so when you see a quartz rock, yeah, check it. All right, pinpointer again. It's in this right here. Oh, there it is right there. I see it. I think it is a specimen. Yeah, it's a specimen. I think what I'm looking at is, oh yeah, Gold-in-Quartz. All right, Let me get a shovel up here so you can see it better. Oops. Ah, boy. That is not good. Oh, boy. The trials and tribulations of doing video. It might be a minute. Oh, man. Okay. Oh. Let's see if I get lucky with the pinpointer. Yeah, I did. Okay. I think it's a specimen. I can't tell yet. Well, you see some white, but you also see some gold. So yeah, it's a little specimen. Beautiful little piece. It's got it all going on. It's got the gold. It's got quartz. Nice. Got a little character. Beautiful little piece. And like I said, it was a really iffy signal until I kind of scraped, and then it got good. So cool. That's a nice little piece. Got some size to it. It's heavy too. Very heavy for what it looks like. All right, cool.